Welcome to the deep dive. We are jumping straight into the sources you sent us on the Netflix series Baby Reindeer and really analyzing that chaotic intersection of trauma, obsession, and identity.
Yeah, absolutely. We dug into the psychological reviews, some forensic analyses to really get at the psychodynamics behind Donnie and Martha.
So our mission here isn't just about what happened.
No, it's about the why. Why the specific and very destructive entanglement occurred.
Right. Because it's not this straightforward story of a stalker and her victim. The sources all point to this interconnected pathology.
Two people just deeply, deeply entangled in these cycles of abuse and self-loathing.
Let's unpack that.
So the initial dynamic is crucial. Donnie himself says he felt this profound pity for Martha.
She presents as this high-powered attorney.
But she's actually living in, a pretty dirty motel room. That pity, though, it evaporates pretty quickly once he finds out she's a convicted stalker.
A professional one who'd already served 4 years in prison. And the core of her pathology, according to the sources, it screams erotomania. The sheer volume of it all. Over 41,000 emails, the calls, the nicknames like Baby Reindeer.
That is the textbook definition. It's this unshakable, delusional belief that someone, usually someone of a higher status, is secretly in love with you.
Chick-Lumble syndrome.
That's the one. And you see it more commonly in women. And interestingly, female stalkers are statistically much more likely to use written communication.
Which explains the endless stream of emails and letters.
It does. But for this to become an actual entanglement, Donnie had to sort of meet her halfway.
And that takes us to his hidden trauma. The grooming and sexual assault he endured 5 years earlier from Darian, the TV writer.
Right. That abuse created this profound self-loathing and shame in him.
He even says with tears in his eyes that he sabotaged his relationship with Terry, his girlfriend, because he hated himself so much more than I loved her.
I mean, that is the mechanism of repetition, compulsion, and action. You unconsciously recreate these traumatic scenarios.
So the insight here is that his compulsion actively invited her erotomania. The destructive attention must have felt strangely familiar.
It felt like a validation he understood, even if it was toxic. One source called it an addiction to self-hatred.
And that's so powerful. I mean, he even goes back to Darian's apartment later on.
He does. And that speaks to another key concept, the fawn response. It's not fight, flight, or freeze. It's appease.
You comply, you smile, you try to de-escalate.
It's an involuntary survival mechanism. It is not consent.
Yeah.
But it often leads to intense shame afterward.
And that shame just gets compounded, right? Because the sources are clear that male victims of stalking, especially by women, are often met with total skepticism.
They're just not taken seriously, and that just deepens the isolation and the self-blame.
So what does it all really boil down to? I think the central insight is how the show humanizes both of them. It shows they have these mirrored psychopathologies, both rooted in trauma.
A tragedy of mutual destruction, really, and that final scene just brings it home.
When he hears her explanation for Baby Reindeer.
Her little comfort toy from childhood, it's this brief, shocking moment of real human connection. And you see Donnie realize something.
That his initial act of kindness wasn't the problem.
Exactly. His empathy was normal. Her reaction was the illness. But kindness could also, maybe, be the way out.
So here's the thought we want to leave you with. When you can see someone's deep vulnerability, their self-hatred, their desperate need for validation, you hold immense power over them.
And the critical difference between a nurturing connection and outright manipulation, it all comes down to one thing.
Your intent. Do you use that insight to empower someone, or do you use it as a tool to control them?